Well, hello.
Why am I nervous? I don't even know.
I am too. Also, I'm spitting everywhere. We're sitting so awkwardly on the floor, and also, I'm pretty sure I pulled a muscle in my booty, and so it hurts. Anyway, what's up? This is Tyler, if you've never met him.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
He's my boyfriend and husband and best friend.
I feel like we haven't done this in a while.
I know, I don't even know how to act.
How do I get started?
I always get blushy and
How
weird.
do I get started? Can you slate, please? Hello, my name's Tyler.
I don't remember how to do that. Oh, you don't even have a coffee.
I do have a coffee.
Oh!
I don't know what you're going to title this. People might have already know by this point, so we're just killing time. What are you going to title it?
Something sneaky, but like, you see it and you're like...
Clickbait!
No, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you haven't guessed it by now, and some of you guys have guessed it by now, we're having another baby.
Number 2's on the way. None of the phrases that we practiced.
Number 2 is on the way. We are so excited.
It's insane. I can't even imagine what our lives are going to turn into. We're already both so tired.
Yeah, that's kind of,
be...
I feel like we've gotten to the manic stage of this where we're like, oh boy, what have we got? But we are so excited, and we were trying for a hot minute. As a lot of you guys know, I was kind of open about that, and so...
We don't know what it's going to be.
No, yeah, we don't know the gender yet. We find out, actually, the week of Thanksgiving, we find out.
Trying to think like what questions you guys might have.
I know, that's what I was trying to think about. We are due in April, and I don't know, we talked for quite a while, like back and forth about like when we would want to have a second kid, even if we'd want, because I mean, having a baby is a lot of work.
I don't know if you guys know this, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and then also, like, if we could have a second kid, like, is it even possible? We've got Genevieve in the other room.
Gigi.
He's not going to be able to be here the whole time. I know.
Gigi,
I can
you
tell
okay?
She makes me nervous, man. She's getting to that independent stage of, like, wanting to do stuff on her own, but she's fine. Tyler, do you need to tap out?
Yeah, she's
okay.
done, so
Here, do you want your coffee? I know you're going to need it.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
I'll take center stage. I'll take over this. Anyway, I was actually nervous he wouldn't be able to be in this much at all because we have Genevieve here, and usually we have help, but it's just not in the cards today. I don't even know what I'm talking about. My mind is like going a million miles a minute. Okay, so yeah, we are so excited, and we've tried for a while, and we were getting to that point where we were like, okay, if we're not pregnant by X month, we're gonna look into fertility treatments, because we were kind of encroaching the year mark of like trying, and we were like trying, I've said like a million times, I know, but we were trying a lot of different things, and it just, nothing seemed to be working. But I'm a spiritual and religious person, and so I was praying a lot, like in God's timing. I want it to happen at the time it's supposed to happen, and we really feel like that is how this has happened. So far so good. I had, if you've seen my videos from years ago when I was pregnant with our toddler, Genevieve, who was 3, it was a rough pregnancy. It was just rough. There's no other way. And it's funny looking back years later in hindsight, that was a very atypical pregnancy based on everything I've heard from friends and family, based on just a lot. So far, it's been a lot smoother. I don't want to, jinx anything, because you never know. We get our anatomy scan, and because we did have so many issues, I'm getting into the weeds here, but I know some of you guys are just kind of curious about this kind of stuff. I know I would be. Because we had so many issues in our pregnancy originally, the first one, they wanted us to do a more thorough scan at 20 weeks with maternal fetal medicine, which is like the specialist. And so we're going to do that, which honestly makes me feel good, because it makes me feel that anything that may be off, they're more likely to catch versus a normal anatomy scan. So that's what we're doing, and I am excited because that's when we'll also find out the gender. I can't believe we didn't end up just doing a blood test and finding out the gender. We just never did, and now we're too close where I'm like, well, you know what I mean? I'm like, it'd be silly to try to do something now because we're only a few weeks away. So we are so excited. I know another question you guys are gonna ask is, are we hoping for a boy? Are we hoping for a girl? We really don't care. And I know a lot of people say that, but we don't. We have loved having a girl, and we've got plenty of like girl clothes that could be hand-me-downs, but we also would love to have a boy. So it's kind of this perfect situation where we're gonna be happy no matter what. I'm a part of like, random forums for like the amount of weeks I am in pregnancy, And so a lot of people post on there like about gender disappointment and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, that would be such a bummer if you're like really hoping for something, but we really are at that point where we just are excited for, either way. So that is nice. I'm sitting in my old filming room, which is going to be Genevieve's room. It's still, if you could only see the mess that surrounds me. I had to like move things so I could just have kind of blankness-ish behind me. But we still are planning to move her in here in the next couple of months. Her room will be the nursery for the new baby, and it's perfect because if you recall, we had tossed around the idea of like moving, and that was because we knew we were trying for more kids, and we also were using up 2 of the bedrooms as offices. So right now we kind of have a makeshift home office for if we ever need it over in Tyler's old office, but we have all of our stuff, and like where we genuinely work most days is at our apartment work space, whatever you want to call it. So we did also get a new doctor, and I feel so good about this because our last doctor, again, if you've been following our journey for a while, we had a lot of issues and a lot of communication. Like, for one example, and I think this is the perfect example of the issues we were having, and it was a big deal, was that we were supposed to be, I guess my progesterone levels were low, and so we were supposed to be put on like a progesterone shot regimen. And it was one where Tyler had to be taught how to do it, and he was going to administer them at home a couple times a week. Very painful, totally sucked, totally worth it. Well, apparently that was supposed to have started. We weren't told anything about any of this, about low progesterone levels, about doing this. So at our next appointment, like a month later, the nurse was like, oh, and you guys have been doing the progesterone shots at home. And we were like, what are you talking? Like, we didn't know anything about this. She was like, oh, you were supposed to start them like 4 weeks ago. That's the kind of level of like miscommunication. It was a very disorganized office, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, we found a new doctor, and I am so just happy with this doctor. I got to see her as just my gynecologist after pregnancy for her to just check things out, make sure everything was like looking okay, since I did have so many issues, and she's amazing. She knows what she's doing, and I feel really comfortable in her hands. Tyler really likes her too. So that is good. That was a big change for us to make, but that means we're delivering at a different place. Everything's changed, but I think for the better. I really do think. So another thing, I kind of made a list of things I thought you guys might be curious about. We told Genevieve when we were in Disney last, and we filmed it. It's just for ourselves though, but we filmed her reaction of us telling her. And it was so cute because she gets it. And like, enough of our friends have been pregnant and then had a baby, and Gigi this year has experienced that she understands that a baby grows in the tummy and then it's out eventually, you know? And so it's pretty cute. And she just kept asking questions about like, I'll get milk for the baby, and like things like that, thinking about like, what would I do as a big sister? And those are the things she thinks about. Now, like when we'll go to a public restroom, you know, and they'll have a changing table, she'll look at it and say, and the baby in your tummy will go on there, and I will hand you diapers. Yeah, like, it's very cute. So she's super like getting into the role of being the big sister, and like thinking about what will her day look like with that. It's still gonna be a world of like change once it happens for a million reasons, obviously. And it'll be interesting because she is, you know, some people have babies so close together, and we did wait, and then we had to try for a while. And so knowing that, it's a little bit more of a gap than I think a lot of people take. But I think it's kind of a nice gap because she, you know, I can reason with her to a certain extent and explain things to her. And so it's kind of nice to have that. And it's nice that she's not in diapers. Like that is a huge change too, to not have to change 2 sets of diapers. So that's kind of where that stands. I'll be very curious to watch her and her little world be rocked when this new baby comes, because it will be a huge change. But we bought her some cute books about being a big sister, and so I think she's excited, as much as excited as she can be for that, you know. Thinking about like our viewpoint on things though, I did have a lot of postpartum depression after Genevieve was born, and again, I think some of it was just the way it was, and I do think some of it was because I didn't know a lot of things that were going to happen that I should have known. Again, having to do with that doctor, like I should have known. They knew from the beginning she was going to spend some time in the NICU. No one told me. They knew before I even gave birth to her. That surprise was awful. And, you know, it's one thing for it to just happen in the moment and they need to, because that happens and that's awful as it is. But the fact that they already knew and didn't tell me is pretty, you know what I mean? So I think there was just a lot there. And then also I think I'm just emotionally susceptible to that. And so the good news is my new doctor had told me, you know, if you are already susceptible to it, you can start on antidepressants, the same one I was on, right away, like right after you give birth. And I was asking like, well, does that affect breastfeeding and stuff like that? She was like, no, because it's not a super high dose and blah, blah, blah. But that's something that's kind of floating around in my head because I know how awful that was, and just to be able to nip it in the bud. But then there's the other part of me that's like, well, Jessica, maybe it won't be the same this time around. Maybe you should try it without. So I'm still kind of grappling with that. I'll be curious your thoughts, or if you've had that experience where you had postpartum depression with one, and so with the second, you just started on it right away. And if that was, so just let me know your thoughts, feelings, experiences, especially. Our viewpoint, I know I'm like bumping around. My mind, like I said, I have so many things I want to share with you, and I don't know the appropriate order to like share it, so I'm just like spewing it out. Plus, I feel like I've been keeping a secret from you guys for a while, so I've been dying to tell you guys. I think our viewpoint on everything is just so different because we now at least know what to expect. We know what it's like on the other side. And while it's still going to be very different because I know the change from 1 to 2 kids is really hard from what we've heard, we know we can get through it. We know we'll be okay on the other side. It's just going to be a lot of tiredness and you know, it is what it is, but we are so excited. We are so excited. The answer to our prayers. And so I'm trying to think of what else I want to kind of share. I feel like those are the biggest things. Also, another change I'm noticing is I'm not as nervous about like labor and delivery. And that makes sense because when you've gone through something once, again, you know what to expect to a certain extent, even though every labor is different. So kind of knowing though what it is like in general really helps because I was nervous about like what I would now view as like, oh, Jessica, that was silly to be nervous about. But when you've never experienced it, of course you're nervous about all that kind of stuff. So that is nice to kind of have more of a clear view of what is to come and to know I can do it. And I'm just hoping that everything goes okay. I'm really excited and nervous for that 20-week scan because, you know, as of right now, all you can do is like hope that the baby's growing okay, and you know, you hear the heartbeat at each doctor's appointment, and that's about it. Like there's not really much else you can do to know how your baby's doing and if it's okay. And so it's a very nerve-wracking thing, and that is I'm just really anticipating and anxious for that 20-week scan just to see and make sure everything's okay. So I feel like I'll sleep better on the other side of that. That's all. Well, I might sleep better mentally, but physically maybe not. We'll see. I guess that's everything. I'm sure like 15 more things will pop up the second I stop recording, but we were so excited to share that with you. I know Tyler wanted to be here for most of the video, like I said, but it's just not in the cards. But yeah, I'll share some updates. I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. I mean, just like when we had her, my video is not going to turn into like a baby channel, but you know, knowing that I do like dipping my toe in lifestyle style type videos, you know what I mean? Knowing that I do like that, I do want to share more about the pregnancy, you know, maybe like updates or like how I found out maybe pregnancy symptoms. I'd be certainly willing. I've been keeping track of that. So we'll see what that looks like on my channel, but I'm still going to do makeup videos. I'm still going to do my vlogs. Like all of that will not change, but just might be sprinkling in those extra videos about that. So yeah, that's all. I don't know what else to say. I clearly don't want to hang up the phone, but I probably should because I need to get some other stuff done. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being with us through this journey and the last journey and the journey of our lives. We love having you guys be a part of it. And we are planning, if everything, you know, is going smoothly, we are planning to do Vlogmas this year where we'll be vlogging, you know, here on my channel one day, the next day his, but it's vlogging every day. And so you'll see new videos from us every single day in December up until Christmas. We've done that for years now. I have gotten a lot of questions like, you know, it's going to be different without us showing Genevieve. We've kind of made the decision not to show her, but you will hear her. Like I like keeping that in because I want you guys to see like our lives have not changed. We're just choosing not to show her face on camera all the time. And so, you know, I want that to still feel the same way. And you'll get a lot more of Tyler too, because when I'm vlogging for like my channel, he doesn't always pick up the camera because it's, you know, but when it's Vlogmas, it's our project together. So we're both picking up the camera and sharing stuff about our day. And I know so many of you guys joined us for the first time last year and you were like, I'm not really into Vlogmas. Like, I don't really get it. But you joined us on December 1st and watched all the way through and you loved it. And you've told me that you, like, it's become a tradition. You're looking forward to it. So that means so much to me. You have no idea. So if you've never watched Vlogmas or you're like, I don't get it, I'm not into it, give it a try. I think you might be surprised. It's just kind of like a cozy thing that like, it's like we check in with each other every single day in December. And that's such a crazy time of the year. So it's kind of nice. I'm saying that as someone that watches other people's Vlogmases and I love them. So that was the viewer point of me, but not making any sense, you guys. Anyway, okay, I'll shut up. All right, I hear you. But I love you guys. I will talk to you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.